And today, it's a topic that I actually love and hate at the same time. So, have you ever felt like you waste a lot of time during your day, but you're not quite sure where or how much? Well, the tool that I love and hate for this is the topic of today's live. It's called the time tracking spreadsheet. Okay, don't leave me yet. Trust me on this one. I know, spreadsheet, boring, time tracking, consuming all of your extra time. It seems that way. But there's an easy way to do this one. And what you find will probably be shocking. When you see where your time's actually being spent, it's so surprising sometimes. And you can't really make a change if you don't know what the current status is. So here is the time tracking spreadsheet and how I use it. First off, the spreadsheet simply is to track all of your time that you spend throughout the day. I usually do this I aim for a week straight. Really, I get about 3 days in and I get a very clear picture of what my days are like. If you need to do a full week's worth, then that's a good thing because then you'll get more information, and if your week varies, then you'll get all of the information. If you need less, then that's perfectly fine. It's not as bad of a spreadsheet as you might think. I see Anselm says, no, not spreadsheets. I have the same response. I love spreadsheets, but the last thing I want to do is fill them in. But it's quite simple. You simply track everything that you do during the day, from checking email, working on projects for clients, to going to the bathroom. You're going to write it on your time log. And it's not too terribly bad because you're simply going to write the description of what it is. I'm talking like super fast description. So my descriptions: check email, bathroom, pay team, those types of things. And then how many minutes it took you. Now, I find that the easiest way to track the minutes is if you have a smartphone, which most of us do, then it should have a stopwatch with its clock. So there's mine with a stopwatch. I just keep this next to me on the desk, and I hit start whenever I start a task, and then once I'm switching to a different task or taking a break, going to the bathroom, getting distracted, whatever it is that I need to put on the next line of that time tracking sheet, I can either hit stop, enter it, and hit restart, or more likely what I will do is I'll just hit the lap button, and then at the bottom, after you've done that several times, it's kind of hard to see, but you'll see that you'll start to get sort of a rundown of different times, and then you can do 3 or 4 of these in a row, and you'll remember what few things that you did that you were timing. And once you get several of them, then fill in that tracking sheet. That makes it super easy, especially if you're changing tasks often, or if you're super hyper-focused in something and you don't want to step away to fill in the sheet immediately. Just make sure not to put it off too long, because then you will forget. And then the other thing that I have on the sheet that I don't fill in immediately, you can see this was my sheet, and it's not completely filled in yet, is the category. Most of the time I wait until I'm ready to analyze before I fill in this column, because I don't want my workday to be too disrupted by tracking my time. So I will just write the description of what I'm doing, and once I switch tasks, I'll write how many minutes I did it for. At the end, when I'm ready to analyze, I write in the categories. So some of your categories, depending on your job, could be very different. Some of the very basic ones that I see the most would be like paid work or client work, administrative work, health. So then you can watch, how much time are you spending on sleep and eating and exercising and things that are just good for your general health. Personal growth, relaxation and you time, which you should have some of that in there. And if you don't, it's good to know if you don't. Family time, relationships, distractions are a very common one. So that's where, if you wander off path and go rogue on Facebook, then you're going to write that under distractions probably. Maintenance would be, going on errands and doing all those family life administrative tasks. And then usually there's one called other for all the stuff that just does not fit. Now, does this take extra time during your work week? Yes, it does. Does it make a huge difference in your time moving forward? unbelievably. So it's worth the little bit of extra time you will spend doing it because it will change how you're doing things dramatically. It is shocking when you finally see all the numbers and then you can make adjustments. So once you've got all the numbers, you filled in all of your categories, you figure out how much time you're spending in each category, then you decide, is that how much time you want to be spending in that category? Maybe you don't want to be spending as much time on the administrative side of your business because that's not the part that's making you money. That's good to know, right? How much time are you spending on admin versus paid client work? You're going to get a really good idea of that. And you don't have to create a spreadsheet from scratch. I have one for you. I've got a free download that I'll post in the link in the comments for you. So you won't have to worry about that. I'll either put it in the show notes or the comments, depending on where this is at. But fill in that spreadsheet. Look at how much time you're spending in each area and decide if that's really the optimal amount of time you want to be spending there. It's pretty important to see how much time you're doing paid work versus administrative work, getting distracted, talking to other people about things that might not be moving you forward. So sometimes we get caught in a lot of phone calls, but we're getting very little done in them. That just tells you maybe you need to come up with some phrases to get out of the phone calls once the important parts have been covered and gracefully bow out. It's very easy to get stuck in some of those phone calls much longer than is productive anymore. So once you've got your sheet completed, you can also use an app for it. You can use, like I said, I'll have a spreadsheet link in the notes. Once you've got all that completed and analyzed, then it's time to make the change. Decide what you want it to be and adjust things bit by bit and tweak them as you go. It does not have to be an all-over massive great change immediately. It just has to be little bits at a time to see what works for you. Well, I hope that this helps. I would love to hear how you like your time logs. Like I said, is it work? Yes. Is it worth it? Totally. Like life-changingly, totally worth it. So I hope that you will take the little bit of extra effort to do a time log yourself and see where your time is really going. Because even if you are positive you know where it's going, I bet you will find some surprises in there. As you know, I'm Suzanna Kaye with Spark Organizing and Productivity. You can also catch me live today at 1 p.m. I'll be with Ted Bogart. You can go to the tedbogartshow.com, tedbogert.show.com, and find the link to his Facebook page. I will be there live today at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time talking about home and work organizing. So I hope you can join me there as well, and I will see you next week for another fantastic Facebook Live. Have a great week. I love you.